Chapter 5. Since both Mama and Fritz worked through the afternoons, it was sometimes my job after school to stop by the market for food. Most things were gone by then, but Mama said that made choosing easier. This was true. Often by the time I got there, the choice was between red cabbage or white cabbage, as if I cared which one went into my basket. Today, I wandered the aisles hoping something more exciting would be available. I could afford it if there was. The government kept the prices of everything we might need very low. It's just that the shelves were always more empty than full, and what was on them looked or tasted as gray as everything. The good food was called benders because if you had something worth trading, the clerk would bend down under the counter to get it for you. But Mama didn't want us bargaining for food. Just take what is offered on the shelves and come home quickly, she always said. More than anything, I longed for the banana. We used to have them years ago, and for my 12th birthday last fall, Fritz had bought one for me off the black market. I still remembered its taste. Finally, I got some chicken, a few potatoes, and of course, cabbage. I also picked up a few cans of cola, proudly made in East German factories. Fritz thought it left a bitter aftertaste and said one day he'd smuggle in some real Western cola for us. After that, he said, "You'll never want our cola again." If that's true, then don't get it, I had responded. It'll be one less thing that I can buy. Once in line, I stared at the people ahead of me, watching them watch nothing at all because it was safer that way. Mama described us as practical, durable people, which I think she meant as a compliment, though I never took it that way. Our strength came from the collective every school teacher I'd ever I'm sorry, the collective yes, from the collective. Every school teacher I'd ever had said that until it played in my head like a skipping record. Individuality was a weakness, a sickness of the West. So we all walked in steps, eyes ahead, and with conversations at a minimum. We all smiled, but not much, and frowned, but rarely cried. Nobody could succeed here, but most people around me seemed to be okay with that. It meant that it meant they wouldn't fail either. I didn't want to be like them. And at the same time, I was beginning to forget how to be different, how to be my own self. It was the feeling of being swallowed up, and I hated it. That was all I thought about as I hurried home with my groceries. We lived on the fourth floor of the drab apartment building that looked more or less like all the other apartment buildings. That wasn't an accident. Beautiful things were signs of individuality. Wherever possible, Mama had tried to provide some beauty inside the apartment, but still our furnishings were spare and simple. With little to look at inside, I went to my room and stared down the small garden space below. I had buried the peel from Fritz's banana there, hoping it would sprout into a tree this spring. I knew it was impossible, but I still looked every day. And when the tree wasn't there, I always turned my attention to the wall. If I got the angle just right, I could see into the west. There's nothing but greed and selfishness on the other side, my school teacher often told us. If you try to look, it shows nothing but greed and selfishness in your heart. Well, I was greedy and selfish then because I could never help but to look. I couldn't see much, but it seemed brighter across the wall, as if the sun gave more of its light to the west. Maybe the people there were more selfish, I thought, because we needed that sunlight far more than they did. Then some movement at the wall caught my attention, and when I saw what it was, I laughed. A rabbit had become trapped in the death strip. They often did, but it was always amusing to see the Grinzers come by running, chasing it away. They didn't like the prints the rabbits left behind in the perfect smooth dirt. Over the past 4 years, it started as a simple barbed wire fence, had evolved into the entire system designed to stop, capture, or kill anyone who tried to get through. In most places,